Good morning, guys. Happy Wednesday. We're going to get started with our reading lesson this morning, and we are going to continue to talk about central idea. And when I say central idea, you guys know that I mean main idea. In the past, we've always called it main idea, but this year they switched it up a little bit and they call it central idea now. So I may say either one, but they mean the same thing. So remember that central idea means what is the story mostly about? So, not the little details of the story, not one sentence that one person did in the story, but overall, what is the story mostly about if you were to sum it up? Okay? So, I have a few little passages here, and I'm going to read them to you, and I want you to decide in your head, or you can say it out loud, what the main idea is from the answer choices. Okay? So, follow along as I read this one. The diving board was so tall, Naomi was afraid to jump off of it. She stood on the board, looking down at the pool. She took a deep breath. Her friends called to her from the water below. Jump, Naomi, you can do it, they said. Naomi held her breath and jumped. She landed in the water with a splash. She smiled and said, I want to do it again. Okay, so think about what was the main idea of that story? Read these answer choices, and I want you to decide. Is it A, B, or C? The diving board was tall, Naomi jumped off the diving board, or Naomi's friends were in the water. Okay, so you should have selected B. Naomi jumped off of the diving board. Sure, the diving board was tall, but was the whole story about it being tall? No. Yes, Naomi's friends were in the water, but did they talk about her friends being in the water the whole time? No, the story was mostly about the fact that Naomi jumped off of the diving board. Okay, so good job if you got it right. Okay, next story. Doug and Mark sat on the bleachers and watched the baseball game. They cheered for their team. They watched the batter hit a home run and cheered some more. Doug and Mark drank soda and ate hot dogs. It was a fun day at the baseball field. Okay, so what's the main idea of that one? They ate hot dogs, Doug and Mark cheered, or they went to a baseball game. What's the main idea? What's it mostly about? Okay, so the correct answer for that one is C. They went to a baseball game. Did they eat hot dogs? Yes. But did they talk about hot dogs the whole story? No. So that's out. Did Doug and Mark cheer? Yes. But were they cheering the whole story? And is that what the whole story was about? No. The whole story was mostly about the fact that they went to a baseball game. So if you selected C, yay, you got it right. Okay, and our last little story here. Mickey tried to tie his shoe, but he was having trouble. Mickey's dad sat down next to him and showed him how to make two loops and tie them together. Mickey tried a few times. On the fourth try, he got it. Mickey tied his own shoe. He hugged his dad and ran outside to play. Okay, guys, so what's the main idea of this little story? Is it Mickey learned to tie his shoe, Mickey had some trouble, or Mickey ran outside to play? What is the story mostly about? What is the central idea of this story? Okay, you should have picked A. Mickey learned to tie his shoe. Did he have some trouble? Yes. But is that what they talked about the whole story? No. Did he run outside to play? Yes, he did. But is that what the whole story was about? No. The story was mostly about the fact that Mickey learned to tie his shoe. So that is the main idea or the central idea of that story. Okay? So good job if you got that one right. Yay! All right. So I am now going to read you guys a really cute story. Like, I really love this one. I think you guys are going to like it too. It's called Mr. Tiger Goes Wild, and it was written by Peter Brown. I want you to really pay attention because afterwards you guys are going to click reply, and in your own words, I'm going to ask you to tell me what the main idea or the central idea of this story is, okay? So Mr. Tiger Goes Wild. Everyone was perfectly fine with the way things were. Everyone but Mr. Tiger. He doesn't look very pleased, does he? Mr. Tiger was bored with always being so proper. Good day, Mr. Tiger. Good day, Mr. Deer. Lovely weather we're having. I suppose. Indeed. Now, children, please do not act like wild animals. He wanted to loosen up. He wanted to have fun. He wanted to be wild. And then one day, Mr. Tiger had a very wild idea. What do you guys predict his very wild idea is? What do you think he's going to do? I predict blank. Think about it. What did he do? He got down on all fours, right? All the animals have been walking on 2 feet like they are humans, but he decided to act wild and get on all four like a real tiger. He felt better already. Mr. Tiger became wilder and wilder each day. Roar! His friends did not know what to think. Peculiar. That means weird. Wow. Unacceptable. So do you guys think that his friends liked the fact that he was being wild? Doesn't seem like it, does it? And then Mr. Tiger went a little too far. Uh-oh. He took off his clothes. He looks like a real animal now. Do animals normally wear clothes in real life? No, so he is acting like a wild animal. Mr. Tiger, if you must act wild, kindly do so in the wilderness. His friends had lost their patience. What a magnificent idea. Okay, so he's excited about that idea. He's tired of being proper. He wants to get away. So Mr. Tiger ran away into the wilderness. This is a really pretty picture. Great illustrations. Where he went completely wild. So look at all the things he's doing to be wild. Roar! He's running around. He's catching fish, climbing trees, roaring like a tiger. How do you think he's feeling right here on this page? Does he have anyone around him? Does he have any friends around him? What do you think he's thinking about here? But Mr. Tiger was lonely. He missed his friends. He missed the city. He missed his home. So Mr. Tiger decided to return. And he found that things were beginning to change. What's changing? What's different about these animals than when he left? What are they doing? Most of them are walking around on all four now, right? Like wild animals. Now Mr. Tiger felt free to be himself. And so did everyone else. The end. That was a nice little happy ending. I feel happy for Mr. Tiger. Okay, so I want you guys to think about what is the central idea, also known as the main idea of this story. What was this story mostly about? Remember, don't tell me one thing that happened from the story. Okay, think about it overall as one big picture. What was this story mostly about? I want you to think about that, and I want you to click reply and write a sentence for me in the comments section or the conversation section and tell me what was the central idea of this story.